FBI Director Christopher Wray gets grilled on Capitol Hill. Ron DeSantis says he will back Donald Trump if he loses, but will never be his vice president. The United States government has been hacked by the country of China, and President Biden accidentally calls President Zelenskyy Vladimir after confusing him for Vladimir Putin. Thank you so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out, so thank you so much. The Biden administration has announced it will seek to get permission to do promotions within the U.S. military, not based on merit, but based on race, gender, and other provisions, according to new documents. So merit is being thrown out the door in the U.S. military. Kind of scary, right? President Biden has just concluded a two-day meeting with world leaders at the 2023 NATO summit. Despite some slight hiccups, such as calling Zelenskyy Vladimir by mistake, Biden held it together fairly well. While Biden agreed that Ukraine will not join NATO during the war, he stated, "Our commitment to Ukraine will not weaken. We will stand for freedom today, tomorrow, and for as long as it takes." On the other end, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy championed the meeting, stating he felt unprecedented support and is confident that he's returning home with a significant security victory. Now, President Zelenskyy also took this opportunity at the summit to defend the Biden administration's decision to send cluster bombs to the front lines of Ukraine. Zelenskyy stated, "Russia constantly uses cluster munitions on our territory. It wages war exclusively on our land. It kills our people. This is about justice. We defend ourselves without using these weapons on the territory of other states." So basically he's saying we need fire to fight fire, so these weapons are appropriate because Russia is already using them. FBI Director Christopher Wray was questioned by GOP officials in regard to alleged politicization and weaponization of the FBI. Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio stated the committee and select subcommittee have received startling testimony about egregious abuses, misallocation of federal law enforcement resources, and misconduct within leadership ranks of the FBI. Wray combated the notion of political appointees in the agency by notifying the committee that his top 8 leaders all worked their way up, stating as simple line agents. He stated, "The work of the men and women of the FBI, the work the FBI does to protect the American people goes way beyond the 1 or 2 investigations that seem to capture all of the headlines." Now, one of those headlines, for example, was it turned out the FBI in one field office was drafting rules around targeting Catholics. There's about 60 million Catholics in the United States, and they were being basically called terrorist criminals. And so Christopher Wray says, yes, that story is true, but they're no longer being considered terrorists because we've shut that down. Also, earlier today, FBI Director Christopher Wray was grilled by Representative Matt Gaetz from the state of Florida. The interaction got heated when Gaetz asked Wray if the FBI was covering for the Biden family and their crimes. Wray immediately protested that the FBI doesn't get political. Gaetz responded, "It's interesting how uncurious you are about finding out the truth." Some applauded Representative Gaetz for his questioning, while others say the representative from Florida crossed the line in his questioning. Bill Dudley, the former president of New York's Federal Reserve Bank, has sparked argument in the economic sector after claiming the economy is doing quite well. Dudley reinforced his belief by stating inflation fell from an annual rate of 4% in May to 3% in June. However, I've been seeing a lot of comments from my community that would disagree with this sentiment. But I'd like to know, has anyone in the community noticed any improvements, meaning Are the price of food coming down? Is the price of gas going back to where it was? Our services, our clothing, let me know. They're saying all of these things are improving, but I'd like to know, is your budget still feeling the effects of the high inflation? Let me know down below. Now, I personally think the very different views on both sides come from conflicting data. While one report may show improvement in the health of our economy, another shows that a recession is just around the corner. For example, economist Joel Kahn stated, incoming economic data continues to send mixed signals about the economy, with the overall impact leaving Treasury yields higher last week as markets expect the Federal Reserve will need to hold rates higher for longer to slow down inflation. Also, the CEO for JP Morgan Chase said he still believes that a big recession is on the horizon based on the data they're collecting as a large national bank. Now, according to a new report from the Wall Street Journal, Chinese hackers have breached Microsoft, allowing access to government emails. Microsoft seemed to confirm the report by stating the hackers broke into email accounts at about 25 organizations and hit consumer accounts that were likely linked to these entities. While we currently are unaware of exactly what was affected, the White House National Security Council stated they will continue to hold the procurement providers of the U.S. government to a high security threshold. So basically, the federal government was hacked by the government of China, and there's no repercussions. They're not even mad at China. They're just saying, we got to figure out how this happened. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has pledged that he will support Donald Trump for president if he wins the GOP nomination. DeSantis stated, at the end of the day, you go through these processes and voters make a decision and you live with it. While DeSantis committed to supporting Trump, he denied the possibility that he could be his running mate. Now, I find it very interesting that he's basically saying, listen, I'll fall in line, but I would rather be governor than be vice president, even though it could set him up to be president for 8 years after that. Now, speaking of presidential information, today Ron DeSantis said that he is going to back Trump, right? But what wasn't said is that Rupert Murdoch, the owner of Fox News, is privately telling people, I'm done with Ron DeSantis. He's a disappointment. I'm not going to back him anymore. Now, this doesn't mean that Fox is going to jump on the Trump train, but they are done with Ron DeSantis, according to private conversations. Now, rumor has it that Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia could be gearing up to run for president as an independent. He's planning to speak and make an announcement at a New Hampshire event with former Utah Governor John Huntsman Jr. on July 17th. Manchin has refused to say whether he will run for Senate again as a Democrat, and this could be the reason why he might be running for president as an independent. Now, let me know in the comments down below, do you think Senator Joe Manchin would be a good president? Or did you not like him as a senator? Let me know your thoughts down below. The major stock indexes were green today on optimism that the Federal Reserve Bank has finally gotten inflation under control. Gold popped 1.35%, silver popped 4.53%, and Bitcoin was down 0.6% on the day. So Bitcoin, the safe money, was down, but gold, silver, and all the major stock indexes were all up. Now, this is my update for today. I want to remind you that you are amazing. Never, never, never forget that. I would love it if you would subscribe to the community and check out this important video. I will see you on the next video.